You can get your picture taken, your own baseball card, and this is pretty cool too. Jamie Campbell from Sportsnet. He is going to be doing a bit of Q&A with Russell Martin, who's going to be here tomorrow morning. Make sure you show up nice and early for that. We're only taking the first 100 people to visit the pod. Let me get right into this, because obviously, people love the Expos here in the city, but the Blue Jays are Canada's team, so they're Montreal's team as well. How are they going to do this year?
Well, that's a great question. There are 162 games to be played, but there are people that are saying that the American League East is as weak as it's ever been. And that means the Blue Jays have a tremendous chance to win the division. They could also finish fifth because they're such a young team. Sadly, they lost Marcus Stroman to an injury, a freak injury at spring training, and that's a huge loss for the club. But I am ever the optimist, and I personally feel that by the end of September, we could be looking at a division champ in Toronto.
Okay, well, that's amazing news. And speaking of optimism, here in Montreal, we're always optimistic that we're going to get our team back. We're going to get the Montreal Expos back. What do you think about that? Is that a possibility? And maybe you can talk a little bit about the fandemonium for the Expos. Merchandise still flying off the shelves for Expos fans.
I just bought an Expos hat yesterday, actually.
Me too.
And I'm convinced it's one of the finest logos in the history of Major League Baseball. The color combination for those classic Expo uniforms is must-have among those who love the vintage look. I, for one, would love to see the Expos back. I used to live in Ottawa, came to a ton of games, and I miss having them in Major League Baseball. I'm not sure I want it as expansion. I would love to see an existing team move back to Montreal. But based on the fan support that we saw last year in the series against the Mets, and the fan support that we're going to see tomorrow night and Saturday at Olympic Stadium, to me, this is a baseball city and should have a Major League team.
You know what's kind of cool about the Expos logo as well? The colors, if you squint, if you get a seat that's way back in the Olympic Stadium and you squint a little bit, the Jays actually kind of look like the Expos, right? If you can. We'll see. Hey, Jamie, thank you so much for being here. Your broadcast obviously starts tomorrow.